Welcome back, my horde, to podcast. I got Tammy with me.
Hello.
We're actually doing this properly on a Sunday. Yeah. I think I was actually talking in the last couple of podcasts that I've done by myself of having you talk a little bit about your vampires character and stuff.
It's not really a vampire's character,
Well,
it's a werewolf character, but yeah.
I meant to say White Wolf, but yeah. White Wolf, which is the role-playing system. Which is interesting that, it's called White Wolf. And majority of the time we play vampires. And I think the system's known for vampires. But, Pumpkin, why did you become Mers McGee? Anyway, but there's, of course, lots of other things in it. A lot of supernatural.
Yeah, you have vampires, werewolves, mages, fae, wraiths,
Mummies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty much almost every kind of supernatural being. Hunters, demons.
Yep. Yeah, I know there's angels. Which I think they call it the Fallen.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a lot of the time, if I remember it correctly, we've never played with them, but if I remember it correctly with the stuff I've read, the Fallen are usually angels who have forgotten that they are angels because they fell from heaven.
Yeah.
But they actually have like celestial power inside them that you can slowly awaken. I think they call it something different than awaken, because awakening is a mage term.
Yeah, you awaken your mage
Avatar
powers. Yeah.
Which is why a mage cannot become a vampire and keep its magic, because the idea is the fact that upon the mage's death, the avatar dies. And upon the avatar's death, you lose all your magic.
Yeah, you lose your connection.
So.
Yep.
But, yeah. We played yesterday. We didn't get far in a lot of things, but that's because the concept that we're doing a lot over like a bunch of time. Like, basically, we went from Istanbul to China, and along the path, Tammy trained a bunch of younger werewolves.
Yeah. Anywhere from equivalent, like, pups to, I think the oldest one's 18.
Yeah.
So,
like, we're doing a lot, but it's just also, like, as for our characters, we're not doing a lot, but that's also by design. It's nothing, like, bad. Dude, why are you now over there, Murray? You're a weirdo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's crazy.
Yeah, he's been really weird today. Yeah. Cats can be cats. So, yeah. I know that my character which is a vampire, he actually learned a discipline last session, a thaumaturgy path last session, and upgraded another discipline last session. And when we play next time, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be asking to upgrade my road. Which is going to cost me 14 points.
But it will be good.
Of my 17 I have left.
I have 1 experience point, so.
Yeah.
But I have been having to dump a lot of mine in intelligence and instruction, because I'm actually learning instruction.
Yeah.
As a weird way of saying it. Learning to teach. But we also picked up 5 mercenaries.
Well, they're only with us for a bit.
Yeah. But we picked up them for a short period because they're also werewolves, but because they weren't really...
they're part of our tribe. They're actually part of our lineage. But the problem is that there was a giant war. I think we brought this up, but not in the books and even in our session, which, sometimes with certain things in the books, we will change it because it didn't make sense or whatever. But in this case, there's a group of werewolves are not just one kind of werewolf. There's multiple kinds. They're called tribes.
Yeah.
And within a tribe, you have pacts. I think it's actually supposed to be tribes, camps, and then packs.
Yeah.
Because you have a tribe, which is all of the one type. Then you have
And that's
a
broken
camp.
down into a camp, which usually holds a territory, or in our case, we moved around a lot, so our territory was like a large piece of land.
Yeah.
That just different little camps would move around.
Yeah. And then you'd have the packs, which there's a bunch of packs within one camp.
Yeah. And they could have it so that it was like one's a scouting pack, one's like a combat pack, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ours is the weird one. Ours, I think, was made up of misfits.
Yes.
So,
with that being all said and stuff like that, all the tribes, there are different types. We were from the tribe of White Howler, which are usually just the specialness of them, because each of them have like some kind of specialness. Some of them, their specialness is a lot harder to notice at first, but nonetheless, White Howlers is that they're primarily all white furred.
yeah, the purebloods would be.
So, that was the concept behind that. And at some point, a group of White Howler notice a worm. One of the three major ones.
AKA the bad guys.
Yeah. The worms are basically demons. To be simplified. To simplify it. Yeah. It's a lot more complex than that. So, like, they taint people, and that's where worm tainted comes in. And there's also, like, different classes of them, like, and, like, one of the classes is called, like, a femore.
Yeah.
But this one was actually in the core understanding of White Wolf and all that. There's actually three worms, major worms. Great worms, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
And these great worms are like, if they come to our realm, it's actually like death and destruction. Like, it's the end of our world. Even just one of them coming to our world, it causes massive problems.
Yeah.
So whenever a large one's trying to come in, a lot of people try stopping it. And in this case, a large one was down a giant hole. And like a giant cavern. They were summoning it. So, because this thing is so powerful and so big, one of the elders of a camp / the tribe basically asked all camps to help. And me and Tammy, our camp at the time, we were basically part of a different camp. We had moved from our camp to a new one due to the fact that we had faked our own deaths and stuff like that, because we were breaking rules and becoming older due to supernatural means, basically being ghouled by a vampire, which a lot of werewolves think of that as worm tainted, even though it's on that sketchy ground. But nonetheless, our camp told us not to go. Like, he had just like a feeling that it was a bad, and my character, I think we talked about this again. My character was like, "Oh, I'll ask Gaia," which is like, our god, which is Earth, the Earth's goddess, and she gave me a vision of death and destruction if we went, so I didn't go. The actual story goes with the concept that the White Howlers went down, and they spiraled down a staircase into this cavern, and any of them that came back from this became tainted. If you did not die during combat, you became tainted because you were so closely affected by this worm taint that you just became what they new tribe called Black Spiral Dancers, because they spiraled down the staircase, and their fur were all black now. the other thing is the fact that a lot of these ones, when they went back home, because they basically still had some of their own memories, they were just evil now. When they would go home, they would just destroy their entire packs. So white howlers became a lot more irregular and pretty much extinct. So, due to this, we're finding this is like 100 years or so that this has happened. And we're now back and we're like checking out things and looking into things and doing things. But all the stuff that we're working on and doing is like we're looking into trying to figure out where there's some white howlers that are left alive that have like kind of like moved a little bit away from where they originally were, which we only know of two locations. One is where we used to live. It was our old camp. We found some people there. And the other one is a bunch of mercenaries that were of our kin, our lineage, that we had sent off. So the mercenaries are the ones that we sent off. Like, we didn't actually send them off. It was like we took some of our lineage and like had them work on the Silk Road for a mercenary, not mercenary, a merchant that we knew. Yeah. And they would work there and get paid and stuff like that and protect them and all this stuff. And basically, when they were called, a bunch of them left, and some of the younger ones stayed. So right now, there's only about 5 of them, as Tammy was saying. And those 5 are ones that were helping relearn stuff so that they can, just learn the stuff. Because it's like, you have to talk to animal spirits to learn your abilities. But you can't just find these animal spirits. Like, you have to, like, work towards it. It's like, being taught by your elders on how to do it. Then you learn from there and stuff like that. So
yeah, and to learn new gifts in that particular system is kind of interesting because you have to first go into the Umbra. So you have to pass a spiritual barrier. Then once you're in there, then you have to summon a spirit. Then it's going to ask you a riddle. And then you have to solve the riddle before it will even teach you. So it's a lot of tiny steps to get to one big step. It's very time consuming.
And the riddle they give you is literally based off of how much they like you.
Yeah.
Which, when we were first looking into it, our GM is not like evil. Like, there are certain things where she's like, like kind of trying to get us not to do stuff, but she's not evil. Like in certain GMs where it's like, oh, I want you not to have that so badly that I'm literally going to make it impossible for you to get it. So it's because she's not like that. A lot of the times it's like Tammy will have to just make a roll on a default, I think, of 7.
Yeah.
And if she can get, the more success she gets, the more willing that thing is to teach her. So it's, normal where like some GMs would be like, oh, you have to get to, it's a difficulty 10 and you have to get 6 successes.
Yeah, which is a pretty ridiculous stuff just to get a new thing that you have to spend experience on anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you don't know, overall, White Wolf is a D10 system. The concept is that you roll a D10, a 10-sided dice, and you can only get 1 to 10. So with a difficulty being 10, you have to roll a 10 or higher, which you can't roll higher. Though you can get stuff that will lower your difficulty. And you can also, theoretically, you can get higher. Like if someone's at difficulty 11, you have to roll a 10, and then you have to roll a 10 again.
Yeah.
And that counts as 11. So, theoretically, if you had 4 10s on the field, and they said difficulty 11, then theoretically you got 2 successes. So you don't have to actually re-roll the exact same dice. It could be like, and then on top of that, you get skills, which, like, for example, my strength is, or actually, let's go dex. My dex is 6, which means I have 6 dots in it, which a normal human can have 4, sometimes 5. mattering
Maxed.
on... Yeah, that's the max. This is mattering on a lot of variables, like if he has like a specialization where, like, he's a archer, which is what my character is, then maybe he would have 5 in it because he's worked constantly and tirelessly on his improving his dex. But I'm a vampire, so I have 6. And then on top of that, I have 6 in archery. So I have a total of 12 when I'm using my bow. So I would take 12 d10s and I would, roll them. The difficulty is based off of my bow, which I think is actually a 6. So then I would, anything at 6 or higher, I would get as a success. And, then you go and use that against, the enemy. A lot of the time, if the enemy's not dodging, you automatically hit with 1. But if you're doing a called shot, it can increase the damage, or the difficulty, sorry. So, like, for example, like, if I'm doing a called shot to the heart, I think it's a +4 or a +3 or something like that. So
yeah, I can't remember, but I think it also depends on circumstances, such like, is the target moving, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can actually get like pretty large numbers there. But then if you hit, the successes, like for example, for shooting the person in the heart, you actually have to do a certain amount of damage. You have to do a certain amount of successes too. You have to have, I think, get 3 successes, and then you actually hit them square in the heart. If you get 1, you still nick their heart, but you don't get square in. Or I think 3, you get square in the heart. And then after that, you have to get 3 successes over their soak, which we're not going to go into details, but yeah, it's basically them avoiding damage by their body actually soaking damage. And then if you do that, you can actually stake a vampire.
Yeah, I think it's 5 over their soak, but
maybe it's 5. It could be.
I just know that it's nearly impossible to stake your character right now.
Right now, yeah. The reason for that is because my character has a fortitude of 6, a stamina of 5, so that's 11 dice there. And before I even roll, whatever amount of damage you just did to me gets halved because I have my skin is hardened due to a discipline that I have called Flesh of Marble, which halves all damage I take before I roll. So then I roll the dice afterwards. So yeah, I have a lot higher success on not being staked.
Yep.
So, there's stuff like that. Oh, hey, big boy. Oh, hey,
yeah.
big boy.
Rob's character is the archer, and I think you actually are decent with a sword.
No, not really. Well, decent being relative to it. I have 3 dots in melee and brawl and dodge. So
I'm more of the brawler, gonna just punch you in the face type of deal.
yeah, well, the difference between our characters is the fact that when you start, the reason I started actually increasing my brawl to begin with is because I'm going to start having claws. You already have claws.
I was gonna say, when I go fluffy versus when you go into combat form, you still small. I get like 10 feet tall.
Yes, but I can, if I went to full combat mode, you and me, especially after I get that one discipline, you and me will be pretty freaking close to even before you start blasting off all your other abilities.
Yeah.
Because I would have to pump my strength to meet yours. Because I would have 9 plus my 2. And you're, I'm pretty sure, at 10. Plus your 2. And then with my thing, I think I do 3 claw damage.
Is that the upgraded claws or just the regular?
Yeah, that would be my upgraded claws.
Yeah.
I would do 3. And I think you do 3 default.
It's either 2 or 3 default, yeah, and then I have gifts that
Yeah.
increase it. And then my damage increases when I get struck and actually
Yeah.
take damage.
And then the interesting part is the fact that, like, so the difference between our two characters, even though we never fight, we're brothers and we you know,
We slap fight.
but would be the concept that Tammy would output a ridiculous amount of damage. However, my character can soak a ridiculous amount of damage.
I can soak damage too, just not quite the same style.
Well, if I had everything maxed, I would have 15 dice to soak with.
I think right now I have 8. I think.
Yeah. And I would always hit you.
What's dodging?
Yeah, well, there's that too. But no, what I mean is the fact that I would have 9, 10, 11, 12. I would have 12 dice to attack. So.
I definitely need that one gift, though. The Buffalo Trample.
That one's silly. In short, it's the gift that she's talked about. You run at your enemy and you just trample them, and it does some stupid amount of damage.
It's your strength, +4, and then the number of successes. So we calculated it, and my strength would be 10 plus 2 automatic successes for potence, +4, plus 11. Well, possibly an 11. So, and that's all aggravated damage, which means it's the kind that is the hardest to soak. So I could just literally, in my big bad fluffy form, run up to someone and just go squish, squish, squish.
Yeah.
I think I need it. There's going to be some big baddies out there that need some squishing.
Jeez, man, it's going to be ridiculous. And then we just started working with our mage friend again. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually going to try helping me make my eyes that glow red glow 2 different colors. I think first he's going to make them glow blue, and then I think the other thing he's going to help me with is make them not glow at all. So that'll be pretty cool. But, oh man. Oh yeah, I have to edit one of the videos. I have to edit Magic tomorrow. When I get up. I actually have to also record 2 of them. I only recorded 3 of my 5. That's because I didn't have time to record the other 2.
Yeah.
But I'll have no problem recording them. But no, I think I've been now that I've switched to the pattern that we're doing, I think I actually am having no problems doing it. Because I record stuff with you on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then I record my own stuff either on Thursday or Wednesday before you get home. And then I can record the other stuff Monday, which is tomorrow. Because that has to come out for Tuesday. But I can always record it. Or even Friday. I can record it early Friday. I don't know why.
Before I get home.
Yeah. Which is what I think I was doing. It's just I missed. I woke up a little later than normal. And was like, I'm just going to watch shows. And I watched like 3 hours of 2 or 3 hours of shows. I was like, whoopsie.
That seems to be a thing. We need our veg out time, though.
Yeah.
And I would like to actually, start playing War of the Apocalypse. Earthblood, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, the question is do you want to finish Assassin's Creed or not?
Assassin's Creed is gonna take forever.
So do you want to actually just on Thursday and Friday just jump to that instead?
No.
Okay. Because we can just do that for a little while, play it until it's done, and then go back to Assassin's Creed.
Well, I'm that's the problem, is that I'm liking from what I saw you playing. I liked what I saw, and then of course I'm enjoying Assassin's Creed as well.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough time.
I know. I also found out that I get to play it twice for the achievements, because I actually get to play it for with you while streaming.
Yeah.
And then I get to play it the Xbox Series X version.
Yeah.
So when I do the Series X version, I think I'm going to record it for YouTube. I can still stream it, but I think I'm going to actually, if I stream it or if I play it by myself, I think I'm going to make sure that I record it and put it onto YouTube, probably mission by mission basis.
Yeah.
Just that way it's something extra and different. But I think we're going to end this one here. Tammy's wanting to punch her foot in the face. It's twitching, I think, on her. Or cramping. One of the two.
No, I think it fell asleep, so it's doing the pins and needles things, and it just,
there we go.
For some odd reason, hurts a lot more than normal, so I'm just like, ah!
But, yeah. I know this one was pretty much just about White Wolf, but...
Werewolves!
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll get the heck out of here. So until next time, bark at the moon.